Welcome back to Recovery Recreation Television. I'm your host, Susie Lordy, and I'm also the founder of a nonprofit here in Massachusetts called 24 Hour Power, Inc. And we do recovery graffiti all over the state of Massachusetts. What happened was, when we were at some of these events, people would come up to us and say, Susie, there's nothing fun going on around here. Now, we know that's not true, but we decided we wanted to make it our mission to go find out, what is going on around there that's fun, that's healthy, that involves sober activities that anybody can do. And so we came up with this television show, and we bring it to you every single month. It's called Recovery Recreation. So don't think you can't have fun. You just haven't hung out with us sober. Let's talk with a new friend of ours, Michelle St. James. Michelle is the grant coordinator for the Brockton Police Department. Michelle, thank you so much for joining us on Recovery Recreation Television.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Okay, well, we're thrilled. So, grant coordinator, what does that even mean? Like, I had no idea the Brockton Police Department even had grants, let alone a grant coordinator. So, what's your role and how does this all work?
Well, I know that most people think that a police department just runs on taxpayer money, but that is not the case. We actually have lots of different grants. And so my job is to find grants to apply for the grants, and then manage the grants. So we have grants that cover everything from our 911 operators to some equipment to the Shannon Grant, and then we have some other creative grants in there too, but we have, well over $4 million worth of grants. And so it's my job to keep things running smoothly, do the reporting, work with all of our partners, make sure that we're doing the things we say we're going to do when we apply for the grants.
This is a real learning curve for me, and it's all good news. That's awesome. What did you do before that? Is your background law enforcement?
My background is law. I was a lawyer. I spent about 15 years in family law. I specialized in helping domestic violence victims. And about 2010, I moved away from that and went into freelance writing and editing. And then you put all that together into a mishmash and you get a grant coordinator.
Isn't that unbelievable? It's incredible, really. It's a huge opportunity for people in Brockton, and that's why we want people to know about this. Because like I said, 24 Hour Power had no clue what this was until as the stars aligned and we got over to your extension and found out, hey, yeah, have you ever heard of the Shannon Grant? That's a no, but we're going to hear about it right now. Michelle, so can you please give us a little background on what this awesome grant is all about and who it's for?
The Senator Charles E. Shannon Jr. Community Safety Initiative. It's from the Massachusetts Executive Office of Public Safety and Security, and it is specific to 15 communities in Massachusetts. We're the ones who have the worst gang violence problem, these 15 communities. And so they have a certain pool of money set aside, and then we compete to see who gets money from that pool. And the purpose of it is to address the gang violence problem in your community, to attack the problem from all angles, intervening with youth while also conducting suppression on the actual gangs, and keeping the community apprised and involved. And by doing that, you lower the gang violence problem. You make it less likely that gangs will want to be in your city.
That's huge. And especially now, what are you seeing with the pandemic, Michelle? Are you seeing a rise in gang violence? Are you seeing you're more afraid of at-risk youth heading in that direction? Or
there are a lot of things going on with the pandemic. First, we're very worried about youth because a lot of our at-risk youth have been home in unsafe situations. So that's problem number one. Problem number two, in some ways, this could be creating a new at-risk group within youth because you had a lot of youth whose way out was going to be through athletic scholarships. What's going on now with athletics at the college level is that a lot of the seniors are going to be given another year. So that's great for them, but it hurts any incoming freshmen. There might be fewer scholarships, so some kids who thought they were going to be able to get a scholarship aren't, and then they're left without a way out. So that's a problem. And then we also, yes, there has been I'm sure you've noticed that recently we have an uptick in violence in Brockton.
When it comes to what the Shannon Grant has done for us, our artists in recovery, so we focus on 24 Hour Power has artists in Massachusetts that are either in recovery or they have family members affected by drug addiction and alcoholism and mental health issues and everything else. And this has been a real godsend, because when we were able to utilize this grant with the Old Colony YMCA youth, it made such a huge difference in terms of just the morale. I think that it's a huge win-win for the community overall. And yeah, like I said, it made a huge difference for us. So we're thrilled with that. What type of agencies do you see going for this, that or individuals or whatever? I mean, who is this targeting?
Well, it's targeting any organization, nonprofit organization that has experience with and can help at-risk youth. And you can help at-risk youth in any number of ways. Mass Hire Youth Works is one of our partners because they can do a summer jobs program. You mentioned the Old Colony Y. We have a couple of programs with them. We have Safe Corners doing amazing work with street outreach and case management. And then we have Kids Connect, who has this terrific mentoring program and can also organize with a new Shannon partner on the fly an amazing event. And that's what I loved. It's just watching the partners work together and do that collaboration. We also have Brockton Christian Mentoring Initiative. So we have mentoring from, a faith-based point of view. So we're looking for anyone who has a perspective on how to help opportunity youth.
If you were to look at three things right now that the Brockton Police Department is passionate about working with the community on, to improve relations, whatever, what would they be?
Well, obviously we have a real commitment to youth, and we want to do more youth outreach. We want to make sure that they have the tools that they need, that they have alternatives and know that they have alternatives, because we do have these resources, but like you said, it's not necessarily out there. So we need to work on that. Number two, it's actually a very particular passion of the Brockton Police Department is child passenger safety. The Brockton Police Department has had a child passenger safety program for 15 years. We have 5 technicians, all of whom are multilingual and ready to help you, fit your seat to the car, to your car properly so that so the children are safe. We want to help these vulnerable populations. And then obviously police, we're focused on crimes and solving crimes, but we also want to focus on the victims. So we have through grants, we have a new victim assistance program. We want to help shepherd victims through the criminal justice system, because it's a maze, and we want to help them and get them to help refer them to the resources they need. We would love to put a special focus on elder victims, because there's a lot of elder fraud out there. These people are very good at what they do. So we want to make sure that we can do what we can to help.
Oh, we've got to protect our elderly. I'm all for that. When you hear about things like this, it really warms my heart, because it shows, the Brockton Police, they're here to help us in our community. They're here to ensure that we have the programs that we need available to us at our fingertips if we need them. And I couldn't be any more pleased to be able to work with you in conjunction with your team, working with youth, because that's a huge focus. Our goal, when it comes to the recovery art world, is to start young. Get kids involved, show them how to get self-esteem by doing self-esteemable acts for others. But Michelle St. James, everybody, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you.
How do people get in touch with you if they want to learn more about these grants?
The best way is email. So my email address is mstjames@brocktonpolice.com.
We're extremely grateful for all you do for Brockton Police and for our community at large.
Thank you very much. And thanks so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely. We'll be right back. Peace out. So now I'd love to introduce you to a personal favorite of mine, Brian Life. Brian is a master graffiti artist in recovery, and he has helped us with some unbelievable artwork that is now actually traveling around the city of Brockton. So before I get any further, let's make a quick introduction. Brian Life. Brian.
Hi, thank you so much, Susie. I appreciate that and everything you just said, and I'm very grateful to be here. Thank you.
Where are you from, Brian?
I'm originally from Dorchester. I grew up there, and then around 15 years of age, I moved to Quincy, Mass. Pretty much Boston-based mostly all my life. I lived in New York for 6 years, but then moved back. So I'm here.
Aha.
Very happy to
be.
be
Creating art.
I've been creating art since I was a young little lad. Ever since I could just grab crayons and practice and have fun with art. I wasn't big into sports, so I'd have like guy friends that would want to go play basketball, and I'd say, let's draw. And like, I just draw all the time. So
what's your favorite medium, would you say?
So it's really hard to pick what my favorite is, but I do love, I would say graffiti spray paint, because it's so quick and you have so many options of colors. You don't have to sort of spend time mixing, and then you can just instantly express yourself and paint. So I really love that medium. I love that. And then I'd have to say digital mediums. So I love the accessibility, the versatility of digital art as well. So that's Absolutely. A tough one.
Well, I know that's where 24-hour power artists want to go in the future. Yeah. Your graffiti name is Life.
Yes.
Why did you pick that? I mean, it's an awesome name. Just curious.
Growing up in Boston in the 90s, there was a lot of graffiti around, and there were people that were already established, and most of their names had meaning. And it just it provoked thought. Like there would be, for instance, alert, so you just feel alert, or alone. It was another guy. I wanted to come up with something that meant something, that had significance. So I was trying to think, like, what's it all encompassing? What's everything about? And I didn't really want it to be about me. So I wanted to make people think or to give inspiration. So I was thinking like live, to live. And live. But live and live are spelled the same way. So I was like, I can't really do that. I was like, live, life. Oh, life. It's all about life. So it's about me, and it's about everybody, and it's all together, life. So.
And now it's really cool because you're in recovery. So
yes,
let's hear a little journey in that, because it's so important to see that someone can come out on the other side and still do art and be in recovery.
Being grateful to be alive, and having a lot of death happen, unfortunately, around me with the drugs that are around in the inner cities. And I was influenced by my neighborhood and by the casual, you would think, sociable things like getting intoxicated. So I grew up in that sort of lifestyle, thinking that was the norm. But it quickly turned into abnormal and very, dependency and dysfunctional. So a lot of pain came from that. So trying to keep up with that as I got older, I realized that I was an addict. Particularly in my case, I was addicted to alcohol and marijuana. So those became a big struggle for me throughout my life, and wanting to be sober was just I just felt like, in order to live, because I definitely was dying daily, I felt like in this zombie state, a very uncomfortable life. So I wanted to really get sober. It was a dependency, a crutch, I was like a slave to that, it was like all I thought about every day. That's all I cared about. And I put off a lot of responsibilities and ruined a lot of relationships. And I thought I needed to get high to do cool art and trippy and funky art. And I thought I had to be have this edge, but no, what it did was slow me down. It made me tired a lot. It was like an excuse. Like for the first half hour, I'd be all excited, but it would be like an ego trip. And then I'd start to get tired, and I'd say, oh, let me go roll a joint, or let me get high again to get back to a level. So I realize now that I got sober, I am more focused and clear, and I can make decisions, even if it's fearful, like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I could try this. But now that I'm sober, I kind of push into it, and I say, well, even if I fail, it's okay. I could learn. Whereas if I was high, I'd only do what was safe, only do what was something I already knew how to do. So it kept me at a certain level. But I feel like I'm way more enthusiastic, way more energetic.
I know one thing, you were enthusiastic at our event. You were great. I mean, we're looking at what, if you had seen what this master artist, and he truly is, Brian, you are. I mean, you know the level you're at. Put it this way, Brian has done work for Hasbro toys, okay? Clothing companies. He's been in the hip hop world. This guy is like all over the map in terms of art. And I have a feeling you excelled at every one of them. I've been on your website, so I've seen what you can do. When you brought that talent to our event at the Old Colony YMCA with the youth, and you were doing live graffiti art, it was such an interesting experience for everyone, just to see what's involved. I mean, from the building of the
canvas,
the scaffold that you're going to do this on, to okay, it should be, now we're going to prime it, and then and whatever that background stuff that you were doing in the beginning, none of us knew what this was going to be. What is this technique?
Right. There was like, so there's some methods and ways to go about sort of like sketching behind the scenes. Not a lot of people see, and then we usually show the finished product. But what I do like about being around the youth and around the kids who could see me do those steps, it's like the preparation, the figuring out, like building of the canvas. There's a lot of other tools and elements, not just the finished product. So, and it also kind of brings you home to like own the piece. Like you could go to an art store and buy a kind of expensive canvas that's pre-made, or you can build one and learn how to use the tools, and it feels like you actually made it, so it's authentic in a way.
I mean, we'd love to do some recovery graffiti workshops with them, just to show them kind of like how-to basic tutorials, so they could learn how to do some cool techniques. So we're hoping that that's going to be in our near future. And
I'd love to do that.
I've got to tell you, before we wrap this segment, I think it's really important for people to understand how I got to meet you, which is through our master artist in recovery, Keith Mize, who is no longer with us because he succumbed to drugs after over 2 years of living a very much in recovery life. So I feel like Keith is up there, and he's probably on a ladder or a lift somewhere, and he's looking down, and he's painting up heaven.
Yeah.
I do believe that this all comes full circle, and we personally couldn't be more grateful.
He connected us, so I mean, we found each other through his passing. God bless him and his family and everyone who loved him. The outpouring of love for him. I look forward to doing more, and I'm so happy and grateful that you invited me.
Well, I got to tell you, your canvas right now, which is the gift of life, which is incredible. And right now, the Brockton Police are loving it. It's on its way to a bunch of other places in the city that need some love and light right now during the pandemic. Brian, it's been awesome having you. I do want people to know how they can get in touch with you, though.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. Yes, you can reach me through Instagram if you just want to view my work and say hi. You could direct message me. So it's @BrianLife, BrianLife. And then my website is brianlifeart.com. And you could email me from the website. So Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Brian, well, listen, it's been awesome, and we will see you soon.
All right, we'll see you soon. Thank you. Take care, everyone.
Take care. Peace out, my friend.
Peace.
We've got two wonderful young women from the Old Colony YMCA right here in Brockton, Mass. We have Ani joining us today and Alisha. Girls, thanks so much for coming on.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay, let's start with where you're from.
I'm from Brockton, Massachusetts, but I was born in Cape Verde.
Really? Okay. That's cool. How long you been here?
I've been here for I think 7 years.
Alisha, where are you from? Are you from Brockton?
Yes, I'm from Brockton, Massachusetts, and my family are from Cape Verde.
Really? Awesome. Both of you. That's great. Now, how long have you been here?
I was born here.
Ani, what grade are you in school right now?
I'm in 12th grade right now.
Wow. This is it. Big year.
Yeah.
What about you, Alisha?
I'm currently in 10th grade.
Huh. What does school look like this year for you guys with this whole COVID-19?
So school feels very different this year because we are so distant from our teacher and classmate.
Do you miss being in school with everybody?
Yeah, I really.
Yeah. What about you, Alisha?
I really like online school.
So we got the two sides. What do you like about it?
Yeah, the teacher explains it well, and then we just do the assignments and then just turn it in.
Let's talk about the why, because I clearly it's an awesome organization. And pandemic or no pandemic, it's definitely doing stuff with you guys. So how has the why helped you?
The YMCA provided me with food, and that's really good. So like my family doesn't have to like go out as much and buy stuff.
I'll say the same, but the YMCA helped me in so many ways. And then one of the ways that YMCA helped me is dropping off food every 2 weeks, checking up on us daily, and there's more things behind the closed door that other people don't see that they do for us.
See, that's huge. It really is. And I just see the commitment from the staff, man, and it's you know, they're not in it for the paycheck, none of them. They all really love you kids, and they're committed to working with you no matter what situation comes up.
They really do.
Yeah, they're the real deal. They're my kind of people. I know that. So how long have you been coming to the Y?
I remember I started coming to YMCA my summer of 8th grade.
Were you doing art crafts? Were you?
No, I was a summer leader.
Oh, back then.
Yeah.
What does a summer leader do?
So it's basically this program that the Y runs. So you like take care of kids.
That's neat. What about you, Alisha? How long have you been coming to the Y?
It's been 2 years or so.
What's your favorite thing there, would you say?
Probably like communication and like socializing with others and making new friends.
I can't think of a better place for that. That's for sure. What about you, Annie?
I'll say like a volunteer, I think. I love doing that, and I feel like I'm the type of person like to always like help out with anything.
I'll tell you what, you definitely helped out with our event. Old Colony YMCA Youth worked with 24-Hour Power Artists for Recovery to do an event in October. It was great. It was Project Knapsack, and it was for people experiencing homelessness in the city of Brockton. And everybody got to get their art on and hang out socially distanced. And we were just thrilled to be able to do it with you because, I mean, you all stepped up on your Saturday afternoon. What was your favorite part about that day? Why did you want to participate?
So my favorite part of the day was painting the bag, mask, and also meeting new kids from kids like that joined Kids Connect recently.
Oh, neat. Okay, so there were some new faces there you didn't know.
Yeah.
That's nice. Well, you did an awesome job. What about you, Alisha?
I would say the same thing, and I created the butterfly on the bag.
It was unbelievable. And the other artists, they were all coming over looking at it while you were making it.
Yeah.
And Rachel in particular, one of our master artists in recovery, she's like, Susie, you have to see this butterfly. It is just, it's off the chain, and it's beautiful. Yeah. And I know whoever got that is going to be thrilled. So did you guys have fun?
Yeah,
absolutely. We did.
Good.
I did.
You had a blast. You really did. And if you were to do something else with us, right? Do you think you'd like to? I mean, would you guys like to do some more art with us?
I'll say yes.
What about you, Alisha? You up for another art project with us, maybe?
Maybe. I'll think about it.
Okay. What's something cool that you would like to do if you did do something?
I'll say dropping off foods.
I think that'd be cool. All right, that's going to be on the agenda. What about you, Alisha?
Same thing. You know, it's all about volunteering and helping others in need at the end of the day.
You know, it really warms my heart to see young women like yourself that are going to be a big part of our community as you get older. And you're already in the volunteer mode, in the give back mode, in the pay it forward mode. It's so huge and it's rare. And I think a lot of that comes from just the people you're around at the Y too. I think there's a lot of brotherhood and sisterhood, and just it takes a village to help a community. And yeah, they're lucky to have you two. I gotta say, you're an awesome addition to their team for sure.
Thank you.
And before we wrap, though, is there anything else you want to tell any kids or parents out there watching in Brockton?
People, we are the future of this nation, so we should start making better choices and take action and stay woke.
That's huge.
Parents always believe in your kids, they're your future. And kids, I said kids saying no is fine, like, cause there's a lot of kids that are going through stuff nowadays, and I feel like they have the reason to say no.
And you're right, they do have lots of reasons to say no,
Mm-hmm.
but it's having the strength to say no, and they need to have good people around them that are going to help
Yes.
mold the decisions they make too. And I bet you guys have made some phenomenal connections at the Y. You've all been there for a while, and yeah, you can see it just it glows on both of you. So on that note, I'm gonna let both of you go. You get an A+ in my book.
Thank you.
And thanks so much for helping us bring some joy to people experiencing homelessness in Brockton.
No, thank you.
Yeah, it was our pleasure.
They absolutely loved it. So, you made a huge difference. And that's how we do this thing, right? One person at a time, together. And that, my friends, is a wrap. So until next time, don't forget, you can definitely have fun sober. You just have to hang out with us. So until next time, peace out.